So the subject is to move with momentum or resist momentum. And the answer is it really depends on what you're after. So let's go with some physical examples. I'm going to do a basic push-pull. So you can see it's a rotational stimulus. The action has me turning shoulders and turning hips. We're using a surge mechanism that we have at a lot of our gyms. It's nice to resist you in both directions. But the concept of rotating. But now I'll do one where I don't rotate my torso. But I've also naturally sort of sped up my system from feet through the core, the classic core structures out to the hands, basically fingers to toes, is working in both cases. I'm putting the brakes on in a different position, a more rotated position, all the way down to my feet, or putting it on in a more neutral position in some cases, but still having to deal with that momentum. Both are good. They stimulate the body in different ways. Let's do another example. I rotate on a cable, you could use it with a tube. If I come all the way in, I tend to rotate with it. Most people will. And you see this in the gym a lot. It's a fine exercise. It's good. My body puts the brakes on in a different position. Boom. And if I make sure I don't rotate as I go, it looks a little less natural, but it's a different feel factor in that static stabilization. One more example. Dumbbell curls. So I'll stay sideways, Will. So if I do classic sort of resist it, don't rotate with it, that's great. I'm getting some arm work and I'm resisting that rotation. If I reach and exaggerate the rotation, then in terms of where I'm putting on the brakes, down in my feet, into my hips, into my trunk, through my shoulder blades, it's a different position. So very often, if you're doing a resisted motion where you're in this case anti-rotating, you might then segue into a full range. So you go here from resisted curls. As you get tired and the resistance takes a toll, you might go into somewhere you can leverage the mass and momentum safely. But very often we have people simply do two different sets, where they'll do one set sort of conventionally with movement or without movement, depending on the exercise. For example, in a bench press, you're not going for extra range of motion in most cases, but that's a version of an exercise where you, instead of resisting that movement, you would leverage that movement. Mix and match within your programs. Do exercises that have you going full rotational range or laterally or front to back, and then do other versions where you restrict it, probably with more load in those cases. Best of luck playing with your range of motion tweaks to try to maximize the benefits in the gym. We're rooting for you.